And what does that maybe say about our life?
That you have to keep faith. That even, I mean,
Well, even like now, being believers doesn't mean that you're going to be untouched by problems.
yes.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. God promised that He would deliver them, that He would, and His promise didn't change, but they still had to endure some things. Same in our life. God promises that He will be there for us, that He will be our God, but sometimes we still have to endure things. This time, though, there's a clear separation. So what do you think Israel is what do you think Israel would be understanding about God at this point? After they've seen what had happened, they'd endured some things. Now this time they're separate. What would that reveal to them, you think, about God and God's character that maybe they hadn't seen before?
Mercy.
Mercy, yeah. I think so.
If you remember, God is separating His people out for a very special purpose. In this case, He's going to deal with them differently. And I think He's showing His calling on their life. That I have called you to be a special people. In this case, I'm going to keep you away from having to deal with at least this plague.
Absolutely. And maybe too that He's not a distant God. He's present in their midst. You know? Yeah. All right, let's move on to 13 to 19. Kind of a long passage. Anybody want to attempt to read that one? I'm keeping an eye on our time here, so.
Then the Lord
We'll see
said
how
to
far we get.
Moses, "Get up early in the morning, confront Pharaoh, and say to him, 'This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go so that they may worship me. Or at this time I will send the full force of my plagues against you and against your officials and your people, so you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth. For by now I could have stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with the plagues that would have wiped you off the earth. But I have raised you up for this very purpose, that I might show you my power and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. You still set yourself against my people and will not let them go. Therefore, at this time tomorrow, I will send the worst hailstorm that has ever fallen on Egypt, from the day it was founded till now. Give an order now to bring your livestock and everything you have in the field to a place of shelter, because the hail will fall on every person and animal that has not been brought in and is still out in the field, and they will die."
So we've got what coming to the land now? Hail. Hail's pretty destructive for agriculture. Have you ever heard those hail cannons that are around us? Yeah? You would know all about that kind of stuff probably. Yeah. Seems like hail always comes at the worst time because it can cause a lot of damage. Verse 19 gives us a little clue. Did you move my screen here, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh. Of something else unique that's happening in these plagues. I hope what you're beginning to see is that each one, there's something new that happens. Each one reveals something new about God. That's this whole point of knowing God, is each one, there's like this new element. There's something new in this plague too. And you find the secret in verse 19. What is it about this plague that's different than all the rest?
A warning?
What's that?
They have a warning?
They have a warning and an opportunity to be saved and to not endure it. Did you catch that in verse 19? Bring your livestock, everything you have in the field, because the hail will fall on every person and animal. So what is God doing? What's He saying? What's He revealing about Himself here?
Giving them a chance.
He's a God of mercy, right? He gives second chances. He's even allowing Egypt, who has been holding his people captive, an opportunity
Hi.
to turn
Hi.
to the Lord,
No.
to be saved.
No.
And you find out, those of you that have read the story completely,
Hi.
what do we know about who all left Egypt when this was all over? Was it just the Israelites that left?
No,
Who else went with them?
the Egyptians.
Some of the Egyptians were a part of the remnant that left Egypt. Some of them did turn to the Lord. Some of them did join the crew. We can read that in the story. And I think this is a turning point where people are able to decide for themselves, are we going to heed the word of the Lord, or are we going to do our own thing? And some of the Egyptians did. I just think that's an amazing part of the story, because God is a God of mercy, and he allows even those that are the adversaries to come to faith in him.
You would have only prepared yourself if you believed that that was
Right,
going to
if
happen.
you believed that that was going to happen. It was a choice. But they did. Some of them did anyway. All right, we're moving right along. We got about 10 or 15 minutes left, so we may have to go as quick as we can here. The next one, I'll just go ahead and read this one. Exodus 10, 21 to 23. Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward the sky so that darkness spreads over Egypt. Darkness, listen to this. Darkness that can be felt. Have you ever felt darkness before?
Did you skip one, Brett?
Did I skip one?
1 through 6 for this.
Oh, did we skip the locust?
Yeah, you skipped one.
Okay. Oh, that's an important one. We better read that one. Okay. Now let's read that. I'll read that. Then the Lord said to Moses, go to Pharaoh and say to him, this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go so that they may worship me. If you refuse to let them go and continue to hold them back, the hand of the Lord will bring a terrible plague on your livestock in the field, on your horses, donkeys, and camels, and on your sheep and goats. But that's not right, is it?
On your cattle, sheep, and goats.
Okay. We missed one here.
Did you not type out the plague, the locust plague?
Yeah, I put the wrong verse, I think. This is still a plague. Does someone want to just turn there? Sabrina, you got a Bible. Turn to Exodus. It's not 10, 1 through 6. It would be,
10 and 9.
yeah, well, wherever it says
7.
where the locusts are.
Well, actually, the plague of locusts says verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 10. Okay, if you refuse to let them go, I will bring locusts into your country tomorrow. They will cover the face of the ground so that it cannot be seen. They will devour what little you have left after the hail, including every tree that is growing in your fields. They will fill your houses and those of all your officials and all the Egyptians, something neither your fathers nor your forefathers have ever seen from the day they settled in this land till now.
Okay. There's a part I need to find. Can I see your Bible? I don't.
Yeah.
There's a part in there. I apologize. I put the wrong verse, but there's a really important piece of this. Well, I'm lost a little bit here.
I think,
Where am I?
I don't think those verses are correct right for this because the locust is starting in verse 1.
Oh, it's verse 2. That's what we're looking for. I'll read it one more time. That you may tell your children and grandchildren how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians and how I performed my signs among them, and that you may know that I am the Lord. What's different about that than all the others? Did you catch that?
That you may tell your children.
Tell your children, that's right. So this one is directly for the Israelites. God is talking directly to the Israelite people and giving them a command, pass it back to Sabrina, as far as what they're supposed to do. To tell their children and their children's children what the Lord had done. We're going to come back to that thought in just a minute. We're gonna look at one more and then we're gonna move on because I think we're gonna.
Well, there's still another. It's not important.
Okay, all right. We'll see if we can get through it. Okay.
But you at least have to.
So the darkness. Did you get to that one? Exodus 10, 21, and 23. Someone read? Did we read that already?
You started.
Oh yeah, the darkness that could be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand toward the sky, and total darkness covered all Egypt for 3 days. No one could see anyone or move about for 3 days. Yet all the Israelites had light in the places where they lived. So the word no doesn't appear there, but I included this one because I think it's really, really important. What's the darkest dark that you've ever experienced? A blackout?
I remember as that darkness you can feel. I remember as a kid playing like flashlight tag
Okay.
at night when it like at nighttime and then in the dark and just feeling like the darkness or just not being able to see anything at all. Yeah, that's the darkest I can
What was that feeling like for you?